Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Pastor Frank DeMar with the End Times Research Ministry, the author of the book, The Last Chronicles of Planet Earth, the documentary on Bible prophecy and current events, how they're actually coming to pass, these prophecies that we were warned about so many years ago. I want to cover very, very briefly so you'll understand the connection of what the Lord showed us about a coming war against Israel. You'll see this page in my book, and Ezekiel is found in the Old Testament. Ezekiel 38 and 39, it gives the specific details of how is an Islamic army, a huge Islamic army, is going to be coming down against the nation of Israel. You'll see the people that are mentioned in this war coming against Israel, and in this prophecy, and I encourage you to read it, it tells who's coming, it tells the direction that is coming against Israel. It tells us specifically how many people are going to die in this war. And let me make sure that you understand what I'm saying, how many people are going to die. It doesn't say anything about how many Israelis are going to die, but it does specify the number of people who are going to be killed in this Islamic force that will be coming against Israel. And I'll just tell you right now what the word of the Lord tells us, Ezekiel chapter 39, you'll see it highlighted in the blue. And I will turn thee back and leave but the sixth part of thee. So in other words, 5/6 of this massive army who comes against the nation of Israel from the northern quarters, because that's what the Bible shows us, they will be killed off. So that means 1/6 of the massive army will not die. They'll be going back home wherever they came from. So that's a large number of people being killed. 5/6. Now, just so that you understand the difference between the Battle of Armageddon and the Ezekiel war, because there's definitely a difference and they're not the same war. In the book of Revelation, in the Battle of Armageddon, there's no one that is going to live in that battle that comes against the Lord in that Armageddon battle. However, there is a number of people who will survive the Ezekiel war, and that's a huge difference. So the Bible cannot contradict itself when the Bible tells us in Revelation that everybody's going to die, and then we see a certain number of people who do not die from the Ezekiel war. We know that there's separate battles. Now, what I want to point out today is here you'll see Turkey, and here also Russia. And I, for one, believe that Turkey will be the one that will be leading this battle against Israel. For years I've been warning about a relationship between Turkey and Russia, and how in the last days they're going to be coming together, and without a doubt they are. Look at Bloomberg. This came out April the 8th of 2019. Erdogan says Russia's defense deal done as Putin urges more ties. Here you have the leader of Turkey, and obviously most of you know Vladimir Putin, who is the leader of Russia. It says Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said he's going ahead with the controversial purchase of a Russian air defense system over U.S. objections, as Kremlin leader Vladimir Putin urged even closer military links between their two countries. Everything is done on the agreement to buy the S-400 missile system, and those who ask or suggest we backtrack don't know us, Erdogan told reporters after talks with Putin in Moscow on Monday. If we sign a deal on an issue, that's a done deal. This is our sovereign right. No one can ask us to back down. Russia's ready to consider deepening defense cooperation with Turkey through joint development and joint production of high-tech weaponry, Putin said. While they discussed implementing the S-400 contract, there are also other promising projects, he said. I'm hoping that people who actually read Ezekiel chapter 38 and 39 don't think that what we're seeing for the alliance between Turkey and Russia is a coincidence, because it isn't. And it isn't just Russia and Turkey who's made these alliances. we see that Iran, for example, who was also mentioned in that Ezekiel war, are very friendly with Turkey and Russia, and it is not a coincidence. These are the main forces that will be coming against Israel. So keep your eyes on the news. You'll hear more about the ties, military ties, between these nations. Now, you may not know this, but I want to give you a figure here that just shows that when this attack actually does take place, why would Russians join forces with an Islamic army? Well, first of all, by the time this war does transpire, there will be this military alliance that nobody's going to break up between these countries mentioned in the Ezekiel war. And not only that, but Islam in Russia is home to 25 million Muslims. That is a huge number of Muslims in a nation that is prophesied to come down against Israel. In this article that I'm just scrolling down, it says, many of you might not even know that Islam is actually the second biggest religion in the country, coming in at a number of about 25 million people. There will be so much hatred against the nation of Israel that when the armies come down, I believe a large portion of the Muslims in Russia will be coming down thinking that they're going to destroy the nation of Israel, as the prophecy shows us. Now, the closer we get to this war, you'll see these alliances are just going to be headlined without a question. So watch with me as we watch the developments and how these prophecies are being set in stone to be finished.